All right, guys, I'm back. I was doing landscape instead of portrait, I guess. So this is the grave site that was moved to make room for that overpass over there. I don't know if you can see it through the foliage, but 1960 over there, they moved the graves that were in that place over here. The biggest problem was when they moved them, they didn't replace any of the tombstones, so there are a lot of unidentified graves here that are marked with simply green poles. Now, there are a few tombstones or plaques or what have you that are here, but for the most part, about 90% of these are unmarked. And because of the time that has passed, they weren't able to mark them because they can't identify who was in them. So supposedly this area right here is haunted. Now it's a lot more open than I remembered it. I think there was some sort of warehouse, a facility, power plant maybe somewhere in this area. None of this was taken down before. All this is more open than I remembered it. There was a lot of grass and a lot of trees that they've cut down, and yeah, so this is a better experience because I get to see what this area is. Now, if you want to know the stories about this area, this I guess power plant or whatever, you can go look it up. There's plenty of videos about that. Supposedly these are the remains of some parts of what used to be here. I think it was a power plant, could have been a facility, I don't know. It was way back in the day. And these are supposedly the remains of that building. I wish I had gone and done some more research on the area. All I know is that supposedly there's a lot of paranormal activity in this area here in Houston. It's the closest area I can get to. And I decided to come during the day, not because I'm scared of the night, that's far from it. It's because I wanted to get a very good visual view of everything during the day. I mean, let's just face it. You get a better look at everything in the daylight than you do at night. Now, I've never been to this area simply because there was so much foliage and trees in the way that I could never get this far out. It's one thing crossing that shit over there, it's another thing crossing this area. So it looks like they cleared it out. Now, I want to take a good look at the this open well area over here. Again, I can't tell you exactly in detail what any of this used to be. Sorry. I've heard lots of different stories about what it used to be. None of them seem to line up. Although I'm sure if I dug more deeper into it, I could find the truth about what used to be here. But everything always correlates to the fact that this area is supposedly haunted, and don't think you'll be able to notice now. It's daytime. Supposedly all the activity happens at night. Like any time that there's paranormal activity, it happens during the night. I want to take a good look in here. Now that's a lot of moss. I'm not even gonna put my phone any deeper in there. So this used to be a big ass well. And man, the stench in here is disgusting. Oh, it smells bad. But still here. This used to be the base of the facility, I guess. I'm going to say facility. You can call it power plant if you find out the truth about the story about it. You go right ahead, call it whatever you wish. I'm going to call it facility to be on the safe side because either way, it is a place of people who have worked here. That's as much as I know. People worked here. Something bad happened. Place is infested. I'm not infested. I'm sorry. I don't want to use that term. It's surrounded by paranormal activity. Like I said, won't be able to tell during the day, but you can get a good view of everything in detail in this light. Don't want to get too close here. Looks like there's a lot of water in the surrounding area. Man, this water looks cancerous, man. Like right after I saw that green moss growing on that water, I come over here and think this is the bad water. But yeah, these are the remains, for sure, of the facility that used to be here. Now, phone's not getting too hot, so I don't think we'll have a problem with the phone cutting out. So let me just go ahead, and just in case, it's really hard to walk through here. I mean, it looks like it's easy, but I guess because of all the rain we've had, the ground underneath it is kind of soft and mushy. So I'm kind of sinking into it a little bit. I don't want to get my car towed either, so I'm gonna try to do as much of a detailed visual as I can and get to my car before anyone catches on that I'm here, if anyone really cares. But I'm not taking chances. I'm just gonna assume they do. I want to get one last good look at this so you can see vandalism that's happened here. You can see on those walls a lot of greenery grew around it. It's just amazing. The rubble that's left behind from our past is still here. It's just quite a trip, at least for me, to see what used to be here and still is. So I'm not obviously the only one who's been out here. There's a couple of videos on YouTube already. People who've been out here during the day and a couple of people out here during the night. I'm gonna say right now, the videos at night, for me personally, they weren't exciting at all. But wasn't looking at it for it to be exciting. I was looking at it so I can get a good idea of where I'm supposed to be. Although right now you'll see a lot has changed since those videos were put up on YouTube. Just want to take a quick walk around before anyone notices I'm here, because I don't know if I'm supposed to be here or not. Wish I had a GoPro. Might be a little uneven. But yeah, now I cannot prove one way or another. Ooh, I need a vape. I need a vape. I cannot prove one way or another that these poles here actually represent grave sites. But from the little bit of information I know, of course, one can safely assume there is, simply because there are a couple of graves here. I don't think they'd be random. And those graves, well, not graves, I'm saying tombstones, more accurately. Tombstones look like they've aged quite a bit, and the deceased have been deceased for a while. So I'm assuming, about 98% sure, that all these poles here represent unmarked grave sites if the story of the quote-unquote evil 1960 bypass stories are true. Now, I don't know why they call it evil. Nothing evil about this place. It's actually pretty peaceful. I did a little bit of paranormal research here, and by that I mean I came out here with a couple of pieces of equipment, nothing too big. I don't know what that rubble is right there. But I came out with a couple of pieces of equipment here, but I did it during the day, so I can't really count that as actual research. But, ooh, it's very mushy here too. But that's better than nothing. And from that, all signs point to that this area has been, in fact, got some sort of spiritual activity. I don't think it's really big, but see, we can see right here, died 1921. So you can obviously see from right here, this one example, that these grave sites have been here for a while now. So these aren't new grave sites, these are not personal grave sites, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. This one was also supposedly another tomb area, I guess, but the rubble's been destroyed over time. That pole, I'm assuming, like anyone else would in America, that was made for an American flag. This mother here Looks like she died of probably natural causes. Considering her age, she lived a pretty good full life. I hope you can see that. Now, be careful about that area over there, the buildings. I don't want nobody to see me back here, but I want to capture as much as I can. This big area. Remember, all the poles in the ground represent a grave site that has been unmarked, unless they have a tombstone of some sort of plaque to commemorate, I guess not commemorate, to name the person in stone. Now this one's very basic, but you can see they at least made an attempt to make it look decent. I don't know if I showed that area. I did show that area, yeah. Okay, moving on. That pole over there I do not think is a marked grave, because all of these seem to have a common pattern, which is wide on the top. Of course, everything else that's not wide on the top, I can assume, is not a grave site. So here we go. Jeff D. McKnight. You can't see through the foliage. Let me see. I don't want to move this too much, but 1958. Okay, here we go. World War II. EFC 1346 base unit AAF. Military men will know what that means. So yeah, as I showed you there, this is a grave site of veterans as well, which explains that pole probably is supposed to have an American flag. Another site, which I think should have had some writing on it. Unfortunately, not too much has survived throughout the days. Let's go in the middle here. Let's take a good look at this area right here in the middle. I don't know if it's put here to basically show the very middle of this site, which I would say so. I'd say it's safe to say it is the middle of the site. Looks to be that way. Let's go ahead and take a look at some other remaining tombstones in here, and some that have not had a good time with time itself. This seems to have pieces of its original tombstone left in place. I can't make out much of it. Maybe the last name Parker. The date is so etched out of the stone, it's hard to even make out the numbers. I don't know, let me show you what I see. See those two pieces on top? That's I guess all that's remaining left of it. Now here's another one. This one seems to be a little more decorated than the rest of them. If not, at least this one. I don't know if you can see it. It's hard to see on my screen. But anyways, yeah, this one is probably the best maintained. I mean, it doesn't look maintained at all, but believe me, it's the best maintained. The etching is still good. Although, you see that right there? 45. I thought it said 15. That would have been a very tragic story, but 45, that's probably how long I'm gonna live. 1908 at rest. Let's hope so. Let's hope it's out there. She's at rest. So these are a few more unmarked graves. Actually, I say a few more. There's a lot of unmarked graves. Let's go over there. I want to make sure I get a good view of everything before I make my way back to my car that's hopefully not towed when I get back. I couldn't exactly park it somewhere incognito. Maybe my dumb ass, but here's another one I think is marked. No, it's not marked. You can't see through the foliage, but trust me, it is not marked. And if it is completely erased. It's just there. So we don't even know who's here in this grave site. Kind of odd they would put someone's resting body right next to a tree. It's very odd, very odd. It doesn't make any sense, but I'm just gonna go off of what I know. What I know is white on the top means there is body placed in here. Reminder, these have been bodies that were moved from that area where the overpass is. That used to be a grave site. They pushed them all over here to make room for that. When they did that, again, they didn't mark any of the graves. And it's been so long, they can't identify anybody, and nobody's been here for a long time. I will assume a long time, to pay the respects to these men and women. We could have a lot of World War II veterans, World War I or World War II veterans here. I think I said World War II, yeah. You could have a lot of World War II veterans. You know, I remember I said that was the best kept. I'm sorry, this is the best kept. This is almost a prop. But this is Willie Simms. If you pay close attention to what it says right there. 11 years old, just a kid. Just a kid. Buried here. This is the best kept one. I think for obvious reasons. You don't want a kid to be forgotten here. Ooh, I'm sweating so much, it's hot outside. Like, I'm drenched right now. Alright. I think we're coming to a close here. Just want to show a couple more. I don't know if this area right here is supposedly I don't know if this is a gravesite itself. I mean, it'd be kind of odd to put it in the ground here if the body's over here and there's no pole over here, so I'm just gonna go off and say no. Here's another one. This one looks pretty good. It's actually in the ground. Jenny, or I think it's Jenny's, I can't say the last name. It's 1909 she passed away, but born in 1882. Oh man, all the sweat I guess is attracting the mosquitoes or something, I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna bring it to a close with the most, I don't want to say notorious, but the most well-known tombstone in this entire grave site. There's some ant piles here I gotta keep an eye out for. A lot of bees. Now, I don't want to promote how to get here exactly. I'm not trying to promote trespassing, so that I'll leave up to you. I only said train tracks. That's not enough. So you'll figure it out if you want to. I just want to get a back shot of this. This is the most, it's a little hard to get through here, but there's a lot of graffiti back here. I'll try to get as close as I can, although in 4K you really don't have to. A lot of markings, a lot of graffiti, a lot of tags. Now, I understand I'm walking over graves here. I understand that completely, but these are poles, man. Poles in a circle. With the exception of tombstones, there's not much to go off of here. And quite frankly, we don't know if the grave is that way, that way, that way, that way, that way. So I could be walking over these graves accidentally and not even know it. Now here is an interesting one. It does not have a top, but then again it's cut off. It's the only one that's cut off here. I wonder why. Not saying anything, just wondering why. This is obviously another grave site, and this one's another grave site. I mean, I'm pointing out the obvious here. I'm like John Madden right now, but oh, that's an old reference. All right, last two over here. Again, unmarked, closer to the train tracks. Train tracks are pretty far from here, and this is the most well-known. This is the most well-known of the grave sites. The story behind this one is a couple of vandals came in here, right? I don't know why. I can't tell you their intentions. I can just tell you the story. They came in here, they dug up this grave. It's a small child, obviously, if you couldn't tell by the Well, just want to make sure my assumptions are correct. It's really hard to read. Yeah, should be a small child here, obviously. Just want to make sure. I see toys, but you know, that didn't, not always proof. So there's a small child here, right? And some vandals came in here, dug up the grave, used, I gotta turn this, well, I'm gonna focus here. Used the skull of this child's remains as a bong. I'm not shitting you. You could look this up, Google this shit. They dug up the grave of a small child that was buried here, used his or her remains as a bong. The skull portion, the skull. And that was found out, and of course they went to jail. The body had to be reburied. And this is the body. This is the child they used the skull of to smoke out of. Can you believe that? I can't. I can't make this up. I cannot make this up. This actually legitimately happened. This is why this is the most decorated grave site out of all of them. People know this one because of that story, because of that incident. All right. So that's it, guys. All this. Back there, you can look up that story, something about a warehouse plant. It shouldn't be too hard to look up. Like I said, there was a lot of conflicting stories I found personally myself. So I've never really known for sure what the deal is in that area. All I know for sure is that it used to be a big old power plant or facility or warehouse, one of the three, and it got shut down. I don't know why. People like to make up a controversy about why it got shut down, but they say it's haunted over there. And these are the unmarked grave sites of World War I veterans, children. Overall, everybody here had passed away at a very early time in the 1900s. And in the year 2016, that is a long ways away from this time. So they have been here quite a while. So just, yeah, if you wanna look at the name, in case you wanna see the story yourself, Thelma Blunt. I don't know if they'll refer to the remains. I hate to say remains, it kind of degenerates the person. But I don't know if they'll refer to the incident by name of the person that was being used for said paraphernalia. But yeah, this place is more open now than it ever was. And I could go further back. I'm trying not to step on this grave, especially. I could go further back down that way, all the way over there. But why? I don't think there's much down that way. I don't think there's much at all down that way. I think the majority of what's left and remains here is over here. All right. So that's it, guys. 23 minutes into this video, this particular video here. Sweating like a ghost here. I don't think ghosts sweat. I'm sorry. Dehydration's got me all delusional and stuff. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Hope you do the research here. Find out the story for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Find out for yourself. And hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hopefully y'all can look up the history. It's very tragic. They didn't mark these graves after moving them, but there's a lot of the story I didn't mention here that's more interesting. Anyways, thank you guys very much. I hope to see y'all on the next video. I don't know what it's going to be about. That's some random stuff, but hope you enjoyed it.